Welcome back students. Welcome to biology classes. Today we are going to see 11th science biology and we are going to resume the chapter 18, that is body fluids and regulation. We have already covered most of the topics of this chapter and yet today we are going to see the lastmost topic, and that is regulation of cardiac activity and the disorders of the circulatory system. So let's start with today's lecture. So first we will see about the regulation of cardiac activity. So now we are going to see that how the cardiac cycle is running and how it is regulated, right? So normal activities of heart are regulated by nodal tissue, that is SA and AV node, so that the heart is myogenic, right? So here the normal, your day-to-day life activities, those all activities are being regulated with the help of a specialized tissue which is known as nodal tissue. Okay, and this nodal tissue is present in the SA as well as the AV node, right? So this SA and AV node, they are made up of with a special tissues which are nodal tissue, and they are responsible for regulating the normal activities of the heart, right? For this reason, as it is carrying out the regulation of the heart and it is carrying out the normal activities, for this reason the heart is myogenic in nature, right? Next is a special neural center in medulla oblongata moderates the cardiac function by ANS, right? So in the like in the neural center that is in the brain, right? In the medulla oblongata, right? There is a specialized cardiac function which is moderated by ANS, that is autonomous nervous system. So with the help of the autonomous nervous system, several heart related functions are being carried out, and there is a special neural center in the medulla oblongata which is responsible for carrying out this cardiac function. Okay, next is sympathetic nerve can increase the rate of heartbeat, and parasympathetic nerve of ANS decrease the rate of the heartbeat. So when we are talking about sympathetic nervous system, it is responsible for the increase of the rate of the heartbeat. So when the heartbeat is increased, so the sympathetic nerve is responsible for it. And when we are talking about the parasympathetic nerves, right, then that is responsible for the decreased rate of the heartbeat, right? Last point of it says that adrenal medullary hormone also increases the cardiac output. So when we are talking about the cardiac output, right, the adrenal medullary hormone, it is a hormone which is responsible for increasing the cardiac output. That is how much amount of heart is carrying out and how much amount of functioning is being carried out in the heart. That is being controlled, or we can say it also increases with the help of the adrenal medullary hormone. So this is about the regulation of the cardiac activity. Now we are going to see the last topic, and that is disorders of circulatory system. So when we are talking about disorders, just like in all the human physiology chapters, at the last we have seen the disorders related to that particular system. So all the disorders or all the disease which are being caused in relation with the circulatory system, right, we are going to see in this chapter. So first is hypertension. Hypertension is being caused by the high blood pressure, right? So it is simply known as high BP, right? So the blood pressure higher than 120/80. Normally this is the range, that is 120 is to 80. This is the normal range of the blood pressure which should be maintained in your body. But when the range or when the blood pressure is higher than this range, then it is going to cause what? High blood pressure or hypertension. So 120 mmHg is the systolic, that is pumping pressure, and 80 mmHg is the diastole, that is the resting pressure, right? So 120 is the pumping pressure, that is systole, and 80 is the diastole, that is the relaxation time, or we can say diastole, that is the relaxation. So systolic, that is the contraction, and diastole, that is the relaxation, right? Now, it leads to heart disease and affect vital organs like brain and kidney. So, what happens is when the hypertension is carried out, or we can say if high blood pressure is there, then it can lead to any heart disease, or also it can affect your specialized organs like brain as well as kidney. So none another but the high blood pressure can just, it does not affect the heart, but also it affects the brain and kidney also, right? Second type of disease is CAD, that is coronary artery disease, right? So it is normally or commonly known as atherosclerosis, right? So this atherosclerosis is nothing but CAD, that is coronary artery disease, and it is going to affect the blood vessels that supply blood to heart muscles due to deposition of fat, calcium, cholesterol that makes the arteries lumen narrower. So here, this atherosclerosis is the disease which is going to do what? Which is going to affect your blood vessels, right? That is the arteries, right? So from the blood vessel, whatever blood supply is being carried out, right? That is what happens in that, that from the like in the blood vessel there will be a site of injury which is observed, and at that site of injury, right, what happens is the fat is depositing, right? So the deposition of fat, calcium and cholesterol takes place, and when the blood is moving from that, all the fat molecules and the cholesterol and all is like starting to deposit at that place and at one time it increases so much that it is going to block the artery, or the, or we can simply say as the blood vessel, and for this reason it leads to the coronary artery disease. That is, it like the whole blood vessel is being blocked by the deposition of the fat, calcium and as well as cholesterol, and this does not allow the further flow of the blood, and sometimes if in the particular growth is half of the blood vessel, then it, the arteries become narrower, that is the blood, the pressure of the blood increases in that particular area, right? So that is the atherosclerosis, right? Third is angina, right? So this is also called as angina pectoris. It is acute chest pain due to less supply of oxygen to heart muscles, right? Now, this angina, it's what happens when a person is undergoing any stress condition. At that time, there is a acute chest pain, right? And it occurs because the less amount of oxygen is supplied to your heart muscles. And for this reason, it leads to a condition which is known as angina. And this can occur in elderly male or female, right? So it occurs in both male as well as female, and it occurs due to restricted blood flow. So this occurs due to what? Restricted blood flow, because the blood is only the medium which is going to carry the oxygen. So if the blood does not reach that place, right, that is the heart muscles, then your heart muscles is not going to get proper supply of the oxygen, and it leads to this condition, right? The fourth is heart failure, right? So the heart failure is that heart does not pump enough blood to meet the requirement of the body. So here what happens is, the heart failure is what? The heart is not able to pump the blood as per the requirement of your body. So this lead to the heart failure. That is, it is also congestive heart failure, because congestion of lung is one of its causes. So if the lung is congested, at that time it is showing the direct effect on the heart, because if the lungs are not working properly, at that time, even though the blood, the deoxygenated blood is coming to the lung, but there is no exchange of the blood, like the gases, right? That is the CO2 and the oxygen, right? So for this reason, when the blood again comes back, at that time what happens is, the heart is again dealing with the same type of blood, and this can lead to a condition, that is the heart failure. So furthermore, the heart cannot pump the blood enough to as per the requirement of your body. and the heart failure is different from heart attack. So this is not similar, right? Heart failure is different and heart attack is different. So heart attack, in heart attack, what it is, that heart muscle is damaged by inadequate blood supply. So if more pressure is exerted on the heart muscle, right, by the blood supply, then it can lead to heart attack, right? And also there is difference between the heart failure, heart attack, and the cardiac arrest, right? So the heart attack means your heart muscle is damaged by the blood supply, right? Cardiac arrest means your heart stops beating. That is when a particular person is having, or if the person's or the patient's heart is not beating, at that is what the cardiac arrest, right? So heart failure, that is, it is not able to pump the blood, right? Heart attack means the heart muscle is been damaged by the blood supply. And the third, that is cardiac arrest, that is when the heart stops to beat, right? So this is the difference between these three of the conditions, right? And the last most disorder which is observed, that is the coronary thrombosis, right? This is going to occur when the formation of clot in the coronary artery is occurred. So when a coronary artery is there and when the blood is being clotted inside that artery, that is known as coronary thrombosis, right? And it occurs most frequently in the left anterior descending coronary artery. So this is the most like a frequent location at that particular location, that is the left anterior descending coronary artery. This coronary thrombosis takes place, right? So this is that is in this particular region, that is the left anterior descending coronary artery, there is a scene, that is a formation of a clot, right? And this leads to a condition which is known as coronary thrombosis, right? So here we complete this chapter, and I hope you are very clear with today's topic as well as the whole chapter. If you have any problem regarding this, then you can check my YouTube videos for it. I have made the playlist, right? So you can check the playlist of this chapter and you will get all the videos part by part, and you can easily understand it and note down the notes, right? So I will see you later, right? We'll come back and we'll meet up again with the new chapter, and I hope to see you again. Thank you.